welcome to the third session of the Idea Hub today. So, CRM system is no longer about sending email or storing your client information. It's about building a real ongoing value. Our moderator, Maria Pittashi, General Manager from Plugit, and her panelists will dive into what modern CRM looks like when the goal isn't just an onboarding process. In this session, not another email CRM that actually works. So, Maria and my dear panelists, we're eager to hear what you're going to say.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you, IFX, for allowing us this opportunity to moderate on such a topic, which I think is very relevant for brokers and often can either really be a pain point for brokers, especially if they haven't found the right tool. So in today's session, I've got quite a few different perspectives of how we're looking at the CRM from a broker to consultants to also technology providers as well. So I kind of want to dive in and hear from each of the perspective of what we think constitutes in today's market a good CRM for Forex brokers and where kind of the pain points are and what we're doing about it as technology providers. So I'll allow my panelists to introduce themselves and we can start from the end and kind of work this way. Fraser?
Good morning, all. I'm Fraser Nelson from Scope Markets. I head up our global business development side. From my standpoint, a CRM over the last 15 years that I've been in the market has moved from a database tool to a client management tool. And I think that's something that we'll be covering today, and it's a very interesting topic across the board.
Yep. Hi, guys. I'm John Christofides from Truvian, director. We do dealing support, risk management, and we also help with configurations of CRMs. So it's a topic that's quite interesting from how it's moved from just collecting client data towards the prop and the CFD side of things.
And from me, Alec Gehlot, Senior Solutions Engineer at Optimove. We are the all-in-one marketing solution for brokers and fintechs. And our primary focus for brokers is retaining their traders and their clients.
Hello, everyone. I am Nikunj, CTO at Techysquad. With a decade of experience in tech industries, we specialize in developing CRM solution for Forex and prop firm with additional services is Copier and PAM. We work closely with our brokers to customize their needs and committed to provide flexible and reliable solution. Looking forward to productive discussion with expert panelists.
Cool. So I'll start actually, Nikunj, with you because as a provider, and actually this also applies to you, Alex, and maybe you can also jump in. As providers for CRM and working together with the brokers, kind of over the years, similarly for us at Plugit, we've seen how the CRM needs to keep up with obviously our clients' demands. Can you tell us how you've seen the CRM evolve from just being a back office system to today's system where it has to be more of a frontline growth enabler for them?
Yeah, sure. So before the CRM is only just for the data keeping and deposits and everything. But nowadays, as advancement in technology, from back office utility to frontline growth, we can say the trade revenue increase and the conversion from the client side. For that, sales and marketing module in the CRM, which is very helpful for brokers to address their client and the engagement with that client. Also, the client's feedback is more important for brokers. So if the broker is address the feedback from client and request to any technology provider or CRM provider that our clients need exactly this, means the prioritize the client requirement is helpful for the more growth in the front line.
Yeah.
Also, as per the technology, most of the things automation, which is very helpful for any broker to easy flow and onboarding process for their clients.
Definitely. I think automation is absolutely, if you're a technology provider and you're not automating, then what are we actually providing as a service? Alec?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, and you may have heard it about the leaky bucket analogy, but the fact is that at some point you have to consider, okay, we're spending this much on acquisition. If all of those leads are just falling out or leaving your brokerage, then what's really the point? So this focus of moving towards a growth engine, as we see this in the actual results, is the fact that if you're able to retain traders, retain clients, you're actually to really generate a lot more over the long run, because what's the key KPI that you're focusing on? Lifetime value. If I keep my traders around, keep them engaged, I can really generate a lot more, and it turns the focus away from something which is very transactional, which is we need to get more leads, more affiliates, into something where we're actually nurturing traders, ensuring that they're happy and successful with the business, and the results are tremendous. We see it all the time. In fact, to justify the movement away from, let's say, being a back office thing is something which is a real growth driver, I don't think we would have had the success we've had so far and continue to grow if brokerages weren't coming to us and saying, listen, we've done well in acquisition, but we just can't keep hold of these traders. And now we really want to focus on retention, particularly as competition continues to heat up in this industry.
John, how are you seeing it? As from the consulting side, you must have worked and advised many different brokers, seeing different systems. How are you seeing it kind of evolve?
No, I think it's starting to evolve into more of like bigger solution. So they're starting to have more like risk management tools like being added into the CRMs, especially on the prop side. Also to be able to measure, say, how many times a client will repurchase a challenge is also in the CRM. So it's no longer just to collect, passport and account statements of clients. But I think also the CRMs have a big responsibility because they provide the tech to the brokers. So if you allow brokers to configure those CRMs in a way that you can actually abuse the clients, it's like a disservice to the industry. So I think they should have like some limitations on certain rules in prop and CFD CRMs to protect the clients as well as to promote the business and generate sales.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of things that mentioned. I think most have been covered, but I think one of the key things is the efficiency. We look at efficiency, and it's just a term that's thrown out there quite a lot. What it actually means to a broker side is bonus issuance. It means client activation with documents. The quicker you give this, the better experience. The better experience a client has, the more likely they are to stay with you. And it's all about first impression. Like anybody else in this world, a first impression counts, but the first impression is every impression they log in. So every part of the journey needs to be as seamless as possible. I give away my age by saying I've been doing this for 15 years in direct sales, and I literally do not lie when I say it used to be like Excel, and that's what a CRM is. Now it's about having your sales guys interact with their clients, and it doesn't have to be a telephone call, it doesn't have to be an email or chat. The sales guy can see the clients doing something specific, sign them up via Optimove, who we funnily enough use, for specific emailers from Josh and our analyst team. Maybe it's signing up from webinars and prompting them towards action that's happening in the market, around those things. It's all about giving them the information and allowing the client to make that decision. Yeah. And I think the pivot that's happened in this time is most important with that. It's about the focus has gone to what does the client need and not what does the broker need. And I think that's the big pivot.
Yeah, and keeping that in the experience of allowing it to flow seamlessly through the CRM as well. You're talking as well about the communication, and we're seeing that communication strategies now for brokers, at least for us at Plugit, seems to be a huge thing, that customers are coming and saying, again, as the title of the panel says, it's not just another email anymore. And I think email is like yesterday's news of when it comes to reaching out to your customers. What are some of the ways that your guys are seeing beyond the normal campaigns of how you're trying to communicate, and where does that fit into your CRM?
In terms of normal campaigning, obviously it gives the agents the ability to work with clients on a basis. On a BD side, it allows them to work with them, provide them with the tools they want, whether it's online advisory tools, whether it's additional products and services. But more importantly than anything else, and kind of from my perspective, is that it's empowering the trader. And what you're doing with that empowerment is you're allowing them to chart their own journey. And by that, you're not forcing them into situations that they're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Now, from a broker's perspective, you have to look at it in terms of cost as well, because we mentioned cost of acquisition. All these tools come with a cost per user, per everything else, which puts a pressure on a broker. So a broker needs to be understanding their system. And a CRM, again, isn't about clicking a button, giving them access to a product. It's also having the back end of understanding how do we constitute the expense of a client. And we've all seen it over the last 12, 24, 36 months with brokers who aren't managing costs effective, aren't managing their books effective. And this is the thing, it's not a single use product anymore. It's a multi-use product where you're building in your risk systems, your marketing systems, so you can track cost and return from top to bottom. And we're moving away from that, the traditional bucket shop model and people in a boiler room, which I won't say I don't miss. But at the same time, you're moving to very much more how banks operate now. And we're moving to a KPI model. And I think that's what these products allow us to do, is the numbers don't lie. People do, but numbers don't. And if you can base that around, it gives you a huge advantage.
Okay. Alec, when it comes to communication, I think that's right up your guys' alley, right? So what is it that you guys are seeing with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the most important thing is sometimes people can focus a lot on, okay, there's this new channel, maybe say something like Telegram pops up and it's an opportunity here and everyone needs to jump on Telegram. But I think what's more important is taking one step back and thinking about how does our solution actually help us to test and experiment across various channels. I don't actually think there's anything inherently wrong with email. I think email's worked very well for a long period of time, and there's lots of clients I work with that do very well by sending email communications. I think what's more important is you have a system that, first of all, allows you to meet the clients, or from the broker's perspective, meet their clients where they're at. So if the broker has a client which is primarily mobile focused, then do you have the capabilities of communicating with them via mobile push notifications, via mobile in-app messages as well? So I think that's the most important thing. Do you have a system that, first of all, allows you to experiment across different channels and have it all integrated under one house? And then secondly, that continuous testing and optimization, which is going to be critical going forward. And I think that will only continue to strengthen with new AI tools and solutions that are coming into the fold.
Yeah. Nikunj, do you guys have anything with this and your CRM, third parties that you're working with, and how you're integrating that into the systems?
No, nothing, as Spur already covered.
Right, okay, cool. So when it comes to communication, we're seeing as well, obviously, that we've got to touch on the whole topic of compliance, regulation, GDPR. How is it, let's say, come to you, Fraser, from the broker's perspective, how are you guys managing it so that it's integrated smoothly throughout the CRM?
So most CRMs now, traditionally, it used to be, I had a call, you log the call, compliance needs to check it or monitor, they go back, they match it to the ID. It's a very painful process, and especially as a manager when you're asked to listen to a call as well.
Yeah.
Now what you're seeing is WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, everything's integrated. And what we do is we offer we're looking to with our new generation is feeding in our partners channels as well. So we can help them with the information. So if you take South Africa, for example, where we've had a huge tightening of the laws in the last 2 years, we don't want to discourage our IBs from doing business, but we also don't want them to cross the line, because that reflects badly on a broker. Even if you're not doing the actions, it does have that negative connotation. But vice versa to that point as well. You can utilize these tools and the regulatory points to actually enforce it. So a prime example, and not to mention one of my competitors, IG, they decided a few weeks ago to pull out of South Africa Semi, remove Zara accounts and stuff. We utilized our existing systems to mass communicate with our clients on social media platforms that we have and on email. And we saw a 1,200% increase of accounts in 2 weeks. And we basically did what we did in 6 months in a 2-week period. And that gives you opportunities. Now the client's interested. They knew they were moving. They knew there was changes in their existing broker, and we communicated to them, we will not be changing. We are committed to South Africa with our license, with a local account, trade the way, at the end of the day, our motto is trade like you. That's what we're offering, whether you're in China and you want to trade gold, Chinese RMB, if you're in Japan with the yen, it's your choice. The broker's job is to, as I said, give the client the ability to chart their own journey. And that's the most important thing.
And stay within the lines of compliance.
Of course.
Good. Good. You did touch on the topic as well of IBs. For us at Plugit, it's always been a huge request of our customers coming and asking us, okay, with your CRM, we need an IB management tool. Yeah. And we're seeing that, of course, brokers are finding it difficult to bring in clients and try to find new leads. So having said that, working with a lot more partners, with a lot more affiliates and IBs, again, how do you see with the CRM support, maybe even from Nikunj, from your side of as a tech provider, how are you seeing your CRM support brokers being able to scale with working with IBs and affiliates?
Yeah, so as you said,
A lot of customer requests. So it definitely.
It's
if you're
very-
able to give a tool that
very
meets those
critical for brokers to in the diverse client base to manage their IBs and scale easily. So for that, first of all, the multi-tier IB hierarchy is supporting in the CRM. Also, the fully customization is welcomed by any technology provider is very helpful for brokers because various IBs needs various rebate structure every time, and if they have any valuable client, then again they are changing the stuff. So it's very hard for brokers. But if the well-designed CRM is used by brokers, it's very helpful, like live commission and reporting system, where IB can see their clients' data, how much KYC is completed or not. They can follow by the CRM itself. So it is very helpful for the IBs and brokers itself.
Yeah, and scalability. Alec, anything, does that fall at all onto what it is that you guys do with Optimove? Anything with regards to working with the affiliates? Does that?
Less so. For us, it really begins, okay, once you brought in the lead, it's ascertaining, okay, is this going to be a high value lead? Is this low value? And then from that, deciding on which path to take them down.
Yeah.
But really for us, it's the fact that working with most brokers is usually the marketing journey kind of stops at that point sometimes, where they brought in the lead and it's like, great. And then they'll use the platform. And because our platform is so fantastic, they'll just stick around. It's really at that point where our job really begins to say, listen, no,
Sure.
you've only done a fraction of the work here. There's still so much left to do. But there is still the fact of our system being able to determine and label different affiliates, different partners, depending on how valuable those clients will be.
Sure. Fraser, coming back to you, I know that basically, again, there's a lot of pain area with trying to manage that growth with working with affiliates and OBs. How are you guys incorporating that into your CRM? Any pain points that you see around it?
Customization. I mean, this is the key to us. It's one of the things when I joined Scope last year, or pre-joining. We have a tech journey, we have a great dev team, we have a great CTO, but we're very collaborative in how we go. So each stage of the journey. Now, a lot of brokers you'll see online, we own our own IP, we build our own stuff, and it's fantastic. We do it ourselves, but there is a limitation.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, and mentioning yourselves, I wouldn't ask my devs to design a copy trade system. I wouldn't ask them to design an email communication system. Why? Because it's not our specialty. You know, you don't go to a plumber and ask him to do your electrics. There's a reason for that. And it's the same in our industry. Yes, it would be fantastic if we could go to one vendor, but the reality is when you're dealing with IBs and affiliates, everyone is different. I have an IB in Latin America who's doing the same traffic as some of the big affiliates that I work with. And he doesn't understand how he does it. So I need the tools to be able to show him what he's doing right, help him monetize it, because that's how you build relationships with people. Because at the end of the day, your journey begins and ends when you're making money. A partner comes to you to make money. If they plateau with you, they will pivot and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Your job is to continually help them grow, because when they grow, you grow. And it's a perfect synergy.
And the tools then coming back to exactly what you're talking about with working with these partners, having the right tools within your CRM, your IP management tool to be able to pass that on to your partners so that it isn't that painful experience of trying to provide the information for them.
And it's also integrating these systems. I think this is something that like we've all touched on roughly. They're not standalone systems. They're not products that only do that. These are all fully integrated systems. Whether you're linking them via BI, then into a CRM, whatever networking format you have, the importance is sharing the data. Because the data you have, you can pass on to your client, but it's also important for you as a brokerage. It's important for your partners to understand your client patterns.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so much data out there, but you also being able to refine it down.
Yeah.
You know, that's the key part, is you need a balance. And again, you need to understand your market. Something that was mentioned there is a lead comes in and the journey's over. It's not. You then need to chart the next course. As some clients don't want communication. They only want WhatsApp. They only want email. Some countries you have to be especially, even though it's fully compliant, you have to be very careful with the communications you give them, not because of the financial laws, but because of the communication laws. Yeah. So you have to do each market to its own. Yeah. That's why you need that customizable system with a CRM linked into the background, because that allows you to have that overview and not waste your ops team, your partners, your sales, or your payments checking admin tasks opposed to doing their job. And I think that's the key to the tech going forward.
And it's definitely something that we see all the time at Plugit. It's exactly what you've said. It's not just about being a CRM anymore. It's about having a system that's open, compatible, and being able to integrate with different third-party providers. Because again, you're, like you said as well, similarly to what you're trying to do, if you're not a plumber, why are you trying to do the plumbing? Stick to what you know. And again, same thing for us as service providers. We're very proud of being able to work with other providers to say, if this isn't our bread and butter, we're very happy to work with other providers that can come in and make it easy for our system to communicate with other systems, so long as it makes the experience, enjoyable for our brokers. If they're getting what they need out of it, whether it's through us or a third-party provider, being a good technology partner means being open and flexible to be able to find the system that your broker needs and, identify the areas that okay, this I can do, this we can outsource, and bring it all together to make one perfect solution. Because I think with today's technology, there is no such thing. You have to be open and flexible.
And UX used to be a nice little, lovely looking landing page. It used to be, I click a button and it moves quickly. Yeah. UX is gone, and that's the difference. The market as well as normal tech has changed, but the actual interaction of long-term tech has changed, and the expectations. And I think now what you're seeing companies and tech companies as well, instead of trying to have a shotgun approach to how many products can I offer, get them in and then have one or two base, they're like, well, really, those peripheral products aren't doing us anything. They're not being used. So we're better trimming the hedge, being more targeted. And in a personal opinion, I'm finding far more active use with multiple providers that I've rejected previously. And now I'm like, I love that aspect of your system. And because you do it as a standalone, now we can have a conversation.
John, you must also see this, of course, as well, working with different brokers across the board and having to see, the different systems that they're bringing in. How are you seeing that they're working with CRMs, third parties, bringing it all together? Is that something you see often?
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to the previous point about the IB tracking and affiliates, before when I first started out, everything was very manual, calculating commissions, going through like days and days of Excel's trading statements, calculating how many pips, dollar was it, just to pay them. And now this has all become like sort of automated by the CRM providers. Yeah. So it helps the operations become more, let's say, efficient. And it also helps with the transparency towards the partners. The affiliates and the IBs can now actually log into their like, say, CRM and track the stage of the clients, where they are, how much profit they've made, how much money they can actually withdraw. So like, that's a good shift that's happening. And as now, like, the clients would like more, I see that the clients from different providers, when we are starting up a prop firm or a CFD firm for them, they're more interested now in also like the aesthetics of the CRM. So how pretty is the client dashboard for the prop? Because it's become, Discord community, how good does it look? And that's like one of the main points now. And we start to see a lot of CRM starting to shift towards trying to make it not just a good system, but also good and good looking.
Yeah. And with patterns and obviously trying to track, one of the main things from the CRM, there's so much data in there. We've touched on a lot of things that you guys are trying to track through the CRM. There's all that data there, trying to identify patterns, trying to identify, different trading habits, behaviors of your clients, to then bring that in. What kind of, maybe even look at it from Nikunj's side, what kind of features or functionality are you allowing your system to then help the broker to be able to track any kind of patterns or behavior that their client is doing, to then help with the retention of those clients?
Yeah, so as you told, as per the client trading activities, they can do the promotional offers for the clients. Also, they can doing the tags between the clients trading pattern, like high volume trading, crypto traders and the scalpers. as per that, they are doing the offers and promotional things from the CRM,
Yeah.
which is helpful for re-engagement and the retention policy for any client. Also the cashback offers and also cashback offer for clients and the loyalty program for the long time.
Yeah, longevity of the client.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And then I'm looking at the time, so we've got 5 minutes left, and so I want to open this question up to all of you. Obviously, looking ahead and looking at all the automations, AI tools that are coming out, trying to make everything, just imagine it, think it, and all of a sudden your CRM goes up and does it for you. What kind of tools features, functionality are you guys seeing emerging from the technologies and market trends, and maybe from the broker side as well? What kind of tools is it that you are looking for that you haven't seen yet?
More customization and more interconnectivity between systems. I think there are still several large technology providers in our space who view each other as competition, which is perfectly fine, and I get that. But the other side of it is we're all cooperating together.
Yeah.
And if you don't cooperate, business will pivot and someone will take. And I think what you will start to see is start to see more open systems. I mean, something you mentioned before, again, for me, it's one reason I don't use Apple phones. I don't like the fact it's closed systems. To me, I want something that I can do what I want to do in my phone. I want to download something dangerous. That's my choice. 100%. I'm not saying the same. I'm not saying the same for Forex. But what I'm saying is we need to be able to help the client chart that journey, allow the account manager who's in contact with them, whether it's the marketing side, and also with the AI pre-programming stuff in. So one thing we are working with in the background at the moment is for all our BDs, our salespeople to have AI assistants. And what they're doing is they're recording their calls in the system. The AI is learning some of their responses. So for example, when they have an inquiry, we'll log the call as a specific one. The AI will learn from it, take the client's voice and patterns. And the idea was it will have a chat function, which can turn to audio as well. And the AI can pick up the initial part of the chat, and then it can be transferred to the specific account manager, or if it's then a CS issue, directed to CS or payments, or that's where you become more efficient. Because a client, I'll tell you, I don't want to be sitting on the phone for 10 minutes before I get to the right person. So they don't want to either.
True, very true. Okay. And it's that, though, that with all this AI, with all this automation, how are you ensuring that you're not losing that human touch?
You still have the human interaction. I mean, it's something I argue about all the time.
It's necessary, you're saying?
100%. For me, I think there are several brokers over the last 10 years, some who IPO'd, some who didn't and intended to, who before IPO cut costs, which is a natural pre-listing. But the proof is in the pudding and results as well. If you remove the human interaction, it's been done time and time again, the results happen. Somebody wants a human on the end of the phone. At the end of the day, when I have a problem on my Revolut app with Binance, Coinbase, anybody, I will do the functionality and answer the questions so I can get to a human.
Right.
That's the way I know, and that's the truth of the matter. You're going to need a human at some point.
John?
I'm sort of with Fraser on this. When I open up a support chat, the first thing I write is agent.
Yeah.
Person, agent. So I think it is very important to have the human touch in the CRMs.
Yeah.
And I know that they have all these AI agents and machine learning to respond, but in the end of the day, it's good to have a person to contact the client if it's more, say, a technical issue.
True.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of brokers, actually using the latest and cutting edge tech to be more personalized will actually make you come across more human-like, right? If you're personalizing every email to show content that is relevant to them, we've all had emails like, "Dear sir, madam," nothing specific to what you're interested in or anything that you've done in the past. If we can do this at scale, and effectively AI is just a multiplier, right? So if we're able to then do things on a one-to-one basis, then fundamentally, AI will actually give you your brand a voice, a better voice, because then all my communication are tailored specifically to my interests. And that's something that in the past has been limited because of resources. Right. But AI is really cutting that down and saying, I can have an extremely lean team of marketers that are able to build thousands of journeys. And this is a reality that we see day to day. So I think from the output perspective is the future is going more down a one-to-one direction. And then from the marketer actual day-to-day experiences, they're now, I wouldn't say relying, but they're being guided by the software solutions a lot more, and they can trust in those software solutions to be guided by them. But there's always going to be again, the human, we're not at that stage yet where the AI is doing absolutely everything. I still think it's very, very important that you have the right talent at this stage to manage the AI, the machine learning models, understand exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
But the combination of the two is what is going to be fundamental in the next few years and going forward.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely see that as well. And where we're incorporating AI into it is more on the support side to make it less painful for a customer to get the answer. So when they're already frustrated, when it's already something where they need something quickly, we're like, all right, this can definitely streamline the process. This can cut down to the point much faster than any human could. Let it just learn, let it answer, let it be quick. And then, of course, when they do need the actual human touch, like we're saying, we're always there at the end of the line. So it's good. Nikunj?
In advance, when we are talking about future, everything knows that AI.
Of course.
But except then AI, I want to inform that this CRM is always ready to accept the open API integration from any third party, because whatever you want to add in CRM, in the basic, we need to implement via API or any third party tool for any deposit PSPs.
Yeah.
So, which is also the important function that technology provider always accept the open APIs from the third party to integrate the latest tools always.
No, definitely. Like we said before, if it's not open, then the CRM will only take you so far before your client's looking for another solution that is more compatible and flexible. So good. I think we are out of time. I'm sorry. If anybody does have any questions, we will stick around a little bit in the room to see if anybody has any questions. But I do want to thank everybody. That was really insightful. And thank you for making it such a easy conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.